ダメだねダメよダメなのよあんたが好きで好きすぎてどれだけ
Oh, Gundam style, everybody. Welcome to Wow Cool Robot. It's a podcast about Gundam, Iron-Blooded Orphans. We fucking did it. I'm Max. I use he, him pronouns. And with me, as always, is Sarah.
Hey, I'm sorry. You caught me with a bit of mango in my mouth. I use she, her pronouns. And I'm celebrating Mango Fiesta Friday by just eating a fucking mango.
You're celebrating... we finished watching the show day.
You ever eat a mango with the rind?
I don't... No, the mango rind is a bit too... It's too, not... I guess leathery is a pretty good word for it, actually.
Yeah, I get that. I honestly really like the taste. Like, okay, so, like, I'm an insane person when it comes to fruit. I don't know, have we documented this on this show before?
I don't think we've talked about mango, but we've talked about your orange proclivities.
Yeah, so, like, I will not recommend other people eat an orange with the rind on. Like, that's just a sicko thing for me. I genuinely recommend, like, I don't know, take a bite of a mango. Like do the typical thing, cut the sides off and, slice it, like, columns and rows, slices, pop it out. But, like, have a little nibble of the skin. I think it's kind of nice. Like, I don't believe this as full-throatedly as I do believe that you should be eating the kiwi skin. Like,
no,
the
kiwi skin, we definitely talked about the kiwi skin, because that's just, like, that's part of it. You gotta.
Yeah, it's so sour. It's so tart. But, yeah, I'm just fucking chewing on a mango like it's a...
Chewing on a mango like it's Eox Regan Lace at the end of Iron-Blooded Orphans.
Yeah, we watched some episodes this week. We finished the fucking show.
We finished it. I hear it's good.
409 lines of notes.
Pretty good.
Windows Notepad.
There's a lot to get through here.
This is going to be a long episode.
Yeah, this is going to be long. That's why we're not talking about Poon World, because it's still going to be fucking long without it. Yeah. I say we fucking get into it. We'll just let it wash over us, beginning with episode 47. Scapegoat. Tekadon and Megillah safely sneak onto Mars behind Gjallarhorn's backs, only to find all their accounts are frozen and no one is willing to give them any money. Orga addresses Tekadon and says that anyone who wants to leave is allowed to, and only Zack takes him up on that offer since everyone else is indebted to Orga and will see this through. As Mika, Kudelia, and Atra share an embrace, with Kudelia promising Atra that she'll help protect her and the baby, Orga contacts Rustle asking for clemency in exchange for Megillah. Rustle refuses, saying that the entire organization needs to be a scapegoat to get Gjallarhorn back in good graces. Kudelia comes up with a plan to go to Earth and change everyone's identities, but Tekadon's network access has been cut off and the facility is completely surrounded by Gjallarhorn.
Not to well answer your summary, but Zack was not the only guy that left.
I wrote this because, later we see, like, a whole group of guys, but, like, Zack's the only one who, like, speaks up at that
right,
meeting.
Yeah, no other named character has the same, like, dissatisfactions with charging headfirst into death like Zack does, but yeah. I digress.
Yeah. Did you like that the show ends in, like, the very place it begins?
In Tekadon, on Mars?
Yeah, like on the base, like the very beginning, the very first battle was, like, on the fields outside of CGS, and the very last battle is on the fields outside Tekadon. It's nice. It's a little bookends.
I'm noticing some themes in these episodes.
I've always been saying that Iron-Blooded Orphans is full of themes, characters, and facts.
I like how once they snuck back onto Mars, Orga opened his wallet and said, "All my apes gone."
He opened a wallet. He opened the wallet on his fucking iPad, and, like, a gif of a moth appeared. Shit, we got cleaned out.
Oh no! I clicked on a hacked Bored Ape Yacht Club.
fucking
Orga would never get into NFTs. Orga, like, A, on a moral level, B, I don't think he cares enough about crypto to get into NFTs.
No,
or knows enough about crypto, frankly.
I don't think Megillah is even savvy enough to convince him that this is the way forward.
Yeah, like, not to say that Orga is not too stupid to understand crypto. Like, crypto is just ununderstandable to begin with, and also I just think, like, he would not bother, like, spending the 15 minutes it would take to understand what crypto is to say, oh, that's fucking dumb.
Well, it won't matter much anymore.
Yeah. I really love how this episode opens with, like, Megillah being reliant on Bile as, like, his proof of stake. Like, sorry to keep using crypto terms, but, like, this is my big boy badge. You have to respect it.
Yeah. He's
fucking
lost.
stomping up to the playground and said, like, holding up an imaginary sword and saying, "This sword can cut through any shield and any armor, and you have to respect it because it's the most epic sword ever."
Tekadon, you have to respect it. It's the fucking motto.
Yeah.
As they try and like they get onto Mars. I guess it's like a Galahorn broadcast. Rustle saying shit. Probably. McGillis's like relation to Isnario is revealed here, where like he's not actually his son. And like I
forgot that was not a known quantity.
It doesn't at this point. That really doesn't seem like it's gonna like add any more fuel to the fire right now.
Right. It feels like have you seen Ex Machina?
Oh, I fucking love that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I just watched it recently, and sorry for Ex Machina spoilers, but the scene where Kyoko like peels off her skin and reveals that she's a robot, I'm like, A, I already thought this was a known quantity. B, what is this adding to this plot right now? Like,
yeah,
just a very strange thing to focus on. I mean, I know it's still like 4 episodes out from the end. Like, they were not being like, okay, this is when Wow Cool Robot is going to go for their last episode, so we got to make sure everything from here on out. But it's just funny.
Yeah. I think that actually happens when the Galahorn Mars guy is talking to McGillis, because he like ends up basically like saying he'll turn a blind eye just because like, you know, he's indebted to McGillis for getting him to this position anyway. Mm-hmm. And you know what harm could it do?
Also I like his line about like, oh, he's fucking stupidly lucky. You don't know how the chips are gonna fall.
Yeah, really.
And like McGillis is just fucking lucky as hell.
That's like the only reason he's gotten this far, because like everyone just hates his shit so much. It's like same with Eok, but Eok does it in a funny way.
Yeah, God, Eok is so fail.
Oh, I love him. So Tekadon goes to Mars, and like as on their way, they talk about how like they can't repair shit anymore. Like they are out. There's no parts left. And Orga's like talking to McGillis after we get that scene in the hangar of like they're no longer equals, because like McGillis has fuck all left. He has no one is standing in his court anymore. It's like at this point it's McGillis riding Tekadon's what coattails they have left.
Right.
Chips are a bit down.
It's really funny how it's literally just McGillis. Well, I mean, it's not just McGillis. He's got a little squadron of guys, but like in one of these episodes, he just like sends them all away and is like, "Yeah, get the fuck out of here."
Yeah, he realized like he still believes that like he can single-handedly do this, but it's just interesting to see that he does still believe that.
Yeah. I mean, he comes pretty damn close to being able to single-handedly do it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I mean, we'll get there when we get there, because that's a whole fucking wonderful thing to talk about.
The only thing that can stop a bad guy with an Alaya Vijnana system is a good guy with an Alaya Vijnana system.
And a funny little guy named Ein.
Yeah, and I don't know why, but when you said that, like, I just, for some reason, like, my brain just pictured, like, Ein having, like a personification of Ein in the Alaya Vijnana system, just, like, for some reason, a minion, just like Ein as a minion, and all he just can't like talk or anything. He just says, he just says Vijnana.
They just throw him in the fucking back to tank on the back of Vidar and just let him go ham.
Yeah.
I think it'd be pretty cool. See, I don't think you need to have surgery to have a minion kick to Alaya Vijnana. I think you can just jam it in there and it works.
Yeah, it works or it doesn't. 50-50 shot.
Yeah, and minions can't die. They're immutable, so it'll probably be fine. So the Tekadon's like,
shit, I just realized I fucked this by recording in general. My bad.
Oh, that's fine.
Trusting.
We're simply trusting. Tekadon boys, they're chilling in the head office. Eugene thinks like he simply ponders handing McGillis over to Tekadon to make it out safely, and Akihiro says like Orga would never do that, and Orga walks in and says I'd never do that. But then he says, unless circumstances press me to do that, in which case I might consider it.
Yeah, he walks in and says true left, true right, and then says Stephen A. Smith voice, but,
yeah, unless. They turn the news on and they see like a fucking Mars CNN report about how it's more, Rustle media manipulation, talking about how McGillis has teamed up with this armed group called Tekadon, and like, Tekadon can't get like they can get broadcast in, but they can't like broadcast out. We learn later, so it's just just completely painting Tekadon as like the aggressors and villains here, and like equally at fault as McGillis is.
Yeah, despite the constant negative press, Kudelia.
That's fucking good.
Thank you.
we see Rustle. We see our boy Rustle. He's like, my next phase will make use of Tekadon's prominence. Iok is also here. He's just begging Rustle to do shit. He's like, I mean, he says this every episode, but once again, it's just, put me in, coach. Let me play, coach. Let me on the court. I want to be part of this.
Yeah, let me show him Gundam with the sauce, boss.
At this point, honestly, like, it almost feels like Rustle gives in just to get Iok out of the picture, so he doesn't have to fucking deal with his ass anymore.
Yeah, I regret to inform you that I think this manga is rotten on most of it.
Oh no,
this is so sad.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier I had my 3 for $10 strawberries I got from the store, and like this morning was the last day they would have been good, and it was like I bite into one, I'm like, oh well, But you got it, strawberries. It's a shame. My favorite fruit goes bad so quickly.
Yeah,
it's a metaphor or something.
What is the brightest lights burn out the fastest or whatever.
Yeah. It's a metaphor about Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans.
Exactly.
There's this really fucking sad shot we get of the orphanage, like the Admos orphanage of like where Cookie and Cracker are, and like everyone's just like gossiping. They're like, oh, they were sent here by blood money. Like they're not cool anymore. Like, oh, we don't want to hang. And like Cracker or Cookie is like really mad, and then Cookie or Cracker is like, no, we can't. If we retaliate, they're just gonna make them believe what they already believe about us, but even more. It fucking sucks.
Yeah. Just jumping back briefly to the Eok scene. Sorry, I'm just going. I like Eok saying that he wanted to see the end of a man too attached to power, which is like,
But buddy, have you looked in the mirror? Have you looked at the photo of Rustle that you definitely carry in a locket on you?
Is Eok Meghan McCain?
Whoa.
Like, I feel like Eok is just the kind to just go around bandying my father and my father and my father and my father.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he necessarily needs to. He knows he was, like, brought here by his father's prominence, but, like, he's the one sitting at the 7 stars table, not his father. I think he's I feel like he invokes his father a fair amount, though. Yeah, it's like, the Kujan name.
Yeah, I guess that's more what he's invoking, yeah.
Eok McCain.
Eok McCain.
Much to ponder here. Much to consider.
We cut to Atra at Sakura Farm, and she's like, "Oh, I wish I could have seen Cookie and Cracker." And then Kudelia shows up, and they give each other a big huggy, and they're in love. And Atra's like, "Kudelia, I have to tell you something." But before she can say that she's Gushan Remake Full City, she gets interrupted.
Yeah, she tries to tell her she's Gundam. Sakura's like, Mika's here, and he's just chill, and he's like looking at these really pretty flowers. It's very nice.
Yeah,
very sweet.
Kudelia was helping to tend the flowers while he was gone.
We cut back to the head office of Tekadon. Orga and Maribit, they're looking at the computers accounts. It's bad. Everything's frozen. No one's gonna like lend them money anymore.
It's this fucking. I don't know if this is like a widely proliferated image, but it's one that I think about all the time of just like a crying little seal that says, "I look very stupid and do little DPS," and it's just this is Tekadon. This is Tekadon currently in this moment.
Oh, it's so sad.
I have no money and do very little DPS.
Yeah. I work hard, make no money.
All day I fucking work hard, no money.
Yeah. Kudelia, she talks about how Noblesse Gordon cut off her funding.
A lot of Noblesse in these episodes.
Yeah, they want to remind you that Noblesse exists and is at large for what happens at the end.
Yeah, it feels a little bit like, I know Noblesse has just kind of like been existing in the shadows of this, but like he has not felt like enough of an active participant for the amount that he is upgraded at the end. And like, I get that that's kind of what Noblesse is supposed to be, but I feel like they're not really like. It doesn't feel like a thematic decision. It just feels like, oh shit, we got to remind people that this guy's here.
Yeah, because the whole thing is that like he's like an arms dealer, right? And he's working with Gallarhorn, but we never hear about how Gallarhorn is like manufacturing their shit. So it's just like, oh, and by the way, they got their stuff from Noblesse, and I'm like, all right, cool. It's like it didn't really make a difference one way or the other. But yeah, he's rather important here. And
my notes here say, God, I can't believe Noblesse is still even in this goddamn show.
Yeah, I mean, he made it to the last episode.
Not for long.
Not for long. And she won't. She'll get money from him once she cuts Tekadon off. And Orga, Orga's like? Does he say that Cordelia should cut Tekadon off? Or?
Yeah, he advises her to cut ties.
Yeah, he's just like, yeah, we're bad news.
Yeah, we're the bad news bears.
The bad news bears. He gathers everyone for a big old speech. And he rallies everyone like this is the final battle now. And he's like,
this
everyone
one
wants to,
for real.
Yeah, everyone wants to quit. You can quit. He says he can't make good on his promise of a bright future to anyone, and he can't do much in terms of severance pay. But anyone who wants to leave can leave. And like Eugene and everyone balk at him. Of course they do. But Zach is like, yeah, all right, I'm quitting. Fuck this. Like, this shit sucks. You guys are idiots.
Zach said it sucks. Hit the bricks.
It hit the bricks. Everyone is balking at Zach now, but he's like and he's not the only one who's quitting, but he's the only one who like speaks up in this one scene.
Right. Again, the only named character. Oh shit. Sorry. I just emptied my trash and I forgot to bring the trash can back upstairs, so I was just throwing my discarded mango away, and I was just gonna drop it in what I thought was an empty water cup on my desk, but I did just drop the mango and it just like water just kind of splooshed out.
The classic wet mango.
The classic wet mango. Me fucking doing the Gatorade pour on the Smash Summit the Smash Summit 2021 winner.
That's good.
The wet mango.
Do you need to clean it up? You want to take a
little
break?
No, it's fine. It was just like a little splashy.
Okay, all right.
We're good.
So afterwards, like, we see Zach packing his shit.
Yeah, Zach pipes up and is like, use your fucking brains. What do you mean fight to the end? This is the end. It's a bad end.
Yeah, this is no good.
We made the wrong choice in the VN. Fucking Archer is gonna come in and kill everyone in a couple of minutes.
We're locked into the bad ending.
Right.
Zach talks to
We did
Dane.
not go through the numbered doors in the right sequence. We are completely fucked.
Yeah.
Clover's got an axe. Watch out.
Watch out. He talks to Dane after this as he's packing his stuff, and he's like, my dad has connections. You can work with us. And Dane says he can't because he's a criminal. And Tekadon accepted him even though he killed people. And like Zach is just like very like taken aback by this, and it's just like, yeah, dude. Like it's interesting that they actually the show spends time dwelling on like the place of privilege in Tekadon that you wouldn't ever expect there to be in the first place.
I mean, even in the beginning, we had that with, the regular employees of CGS who were not exactly privileged, but, like, comparatively, they were at least considered, like, more of a person than the human debris were.
Yeah.
So now it's interesting that, like, even though, like, Orga has sort of flattened things out, there is still the privilege of, like, people who have other places that they can go to. For people for whom the only way out is not through. People that can back down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I really appreciate Zach's presence in this season. Like, I feel like a lot of I feel like he doesn't get to do too much more than just be like, God, this place fucking sucks. Everyone just wants to die all the time. Can we just go home? But, like, I like it. I like his presence a lot. He's a fun character. And I really like the role that he fills doing that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, he's a good, he's like a straight man almost. For everyone who's just, hopped up on war.
Yeah. We also get a really good scene with Yukinojo trying to convince Maribet to leave, and she is like, no, he doesn't even try to persuade her, which he says that you're just a kid, you're still a kid just like them, and which she replies, well, I guess you really like kids then. And I know I spent a lot of time complaining about how Maribet doesn't get to do much besides say, oh my god, these kids won't listen to reason, but like, I do like this as a termination for her. I think that it spun its wheels a lot getting here, but I do like this being where that ends up for her.
Yeah.
Like she is just as, thick-headed as the rest of these kids, despite how much she wants to act. Like, once she's actually become a member of Tekadon, it's not just fucking, Tewa's liaison.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's nice, like, she ends, like, She does have a nice endpoint. Yeah, no, I don't really have anything more to add. It's just it's very nice that like she has a good ending with Yukinojo.
Yeah.
Next up, Orca he calls McMurder, and he understands that he can't get any money from him. He's like, I'm not asking for anything. All I'm asking for a single favor. Can you put me in contact with Rustle? Let me
talk to the big man.
I want to talk to Tony Stark, please. Thank you so much.
Tony Squart.
Next up, Kudelia walks in on Mika, who's reading a book about gardening.
He's reading How to Garden on his new Nintendo 3DS that he hacked.
Yeah. and he asks her if she could raise his child.
Yeah, he says, "You're good
like,
at raising things. Will you help me raise my kid too?" And Cadelia's like, but Babby?
Babby? I love, like, Kudelia's voice actor in the dub just fucking sells it so well. Just like, yeah, of course, just like stammering and stuttering.
Yeah, it's really fun. The fact that Mika and Atra don't even know, they're just assuming it because they raw dogged it in the AS, what is it, ASW08?
ASWG08 Barbatos Lupus Rex.
I missed the G. I was off by one character. I would have gotten Barbatos Lupus Rex. You trust me on that one.
the G is for Gundam. And
Mika, it becomes clear that, like, Mika is going off expecting to die.
Yeah.
And he, like, says, "I'm not expecting to die. I just think it's good to make a promise. And the reason I'm here now is because I made a promise with Orga." And quote from man clearly going off to die.
Yes, yeah, there's a bit of an air of finality to him.
She asks for a hug, and he starts to walk over to her, but he's literally tethered to Barbatos. And do you get it?
Do you get it?
He literally cannot leave. Like, he is tethered to war. He can only get so far away from fighting and war and robots and trauma, but at the end of the day, he is still just, like, tied to it. There's no other, he can't escape it.
I think it might be a metaphor of sorts, perhaps.
I really liked this scene. It may have been a little, I don't want to say ham-fisted, because I think that has a negative connotation.
It's blunt.
Yeah, it is blunt. It is lean. It is, like, pretty heavily, like, are you noticing this? But, like, I like what I am noticing.
Yeah, no, it's good. Like, Atra shows up during this scene. Like, Kudelia talks about how she feels both happy and sad that, you know, Atra's the one that he's having the baby with. And Atra's like, you know, Kudelia, you can, you know, this could be your baby. Yeah, she runs up
and is like, you, please, make it, please, Kudelia, please become Ryuseigo 4.
Yeah.
With Mika's babies.
Yeah, and she just like laughs, not, you know, in like a very cute way, and she's like, you know, I'm like, as they're hugging, like, she's holding Atra's hand too, and she tells Atra, she's like, you know, I'm gonna protect you and your baby no matter what. It's fucking nice. It's fucking very, very good and nice.
For all the complaints that I have about this show's treatment of women, and I do have a handful, I think that it kind of, I don't know. To me, it comes out in the wash a little bit because, like, yeah, it's a bit rough with some of the women, but also it's like, it gets so many fucking points that other animes just completely miss out because of some dumb love triangle bullshit or, like, jealousy. There is, like, for all the interlacing, like, romantic and platonic relationships that there are in this show, there never really feels to be, like, and the show never seems to get bogged down in, like, stupid jealousy stuff for more than, like, a couple of minutes. Like, there's been a couple of instances of, like, Atra being like, "Oh, okay, Mika likes Kudelia. I'm small potatoes. I'm not important. That's okay." But then it's like, "No, Kudelia, no, Atra, you are big potatoes. You are important."
Yeah. Oh, God gave us two hands.
Yeah. It's really sweet. The whole Kudelia, Atra, Mika thing, I've been kind of holding my breath this entire season, like, waiting for it to break bad, because I was sure that it would at some point, but it all the way through to the end, it saw it through, and I was just really, I'm genuinely blown away with how this series ends for Kudelia and Atra. Like,
yeah, I was rubbing my fucking hands together whenever you were convinced that one of them would die.
I'm glad that I was wrong.
I'm glad that you were wrong too. It's good. It's fucking, the ending is so nice.
We'll get there.
And yeah, until then though, we see Orga. He radios Rustle, and he tells him he's breaking up Tekadon. He's gonna turn him to Gillis, and Rustle's like, "Okay, turn him to whom? Because I'm not gonna fucking take him."
Yeah, we need a scapegoat. You are the big bad wolf, and we need to blow your house down.
We need to play a magic card that allows us to place 4/0/0 tokens on the field.
Wait, what is the magic card you're referencing there? Because I don't know.
No, I'm sorry. Magic card is in, like, a spell card from Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, okay. 0/0 tokens in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Well, like, you zero attack. So technically they don't have stats, but, like, when you play, they're played as, like, token cards. They have, like, 0 attack, 0 defense, but they're all in defense mode, and they just, like, take hits.
Okay, because in Magic, like, if anything has 0 health at any point in time, it dies as a result of a state-based action of having 0 health.
Oh, interesting. Hold on, yeah, I'll see. Maybe the Scapegoat. Oh, the card doesn't even have. Okay, just kidding. The token doesn't even have.
Oh, Scapegoat the card. Okay, yes, I remember the Scapegoat card.
Yeah, the funny multicolored
Pegasus.
Joey
Pegasus busted that out against Kaiba, right?
No, it was like Joey's signature card.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm mixing it up with. I think I'm mixing it up with the that battle in my mind, one of the major battles that involves Scapegoat is mixed. It is inextricably entwined with Baby Toon Dragon, whatever, the Toon World Dragon, whatever.
Yeah, with, Toon Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Toon Blue Eyes White Dragon. Yeah.
Yeah. Yu-Gi-Oh's good.
Yeah. Damn, I can't believe I just got that fucking. I haven't watched that show in like. Well, I did watch the abridged series a lot.
Mm-hmm, yeah, who among us, really?
Like, I literally had at the time there were like 52, 53 episodes. And I had all of those, plus the episodes that were out of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Abridged, plus the abridged movie, all of that downloaded onto my iPod Nano, which I did just watch from. I just watched those episodes from end to end in school and stuff, and I still managed to do okay in school somehow.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, I think they like just put out like the 84th episode a couple of days ago.
Good God.
They're getting there. Orga freaks out at Russell telling him, fuck you, like, die.
Yeah, this is a fear we don't see from Orga.
Yeah, he's like, tells Russell to kill me as many times as you want, cut mine off and display it. And Russell just is like, do you understand that you're part of an organization and like all of you make up the whole? You Orga's full name. His name is not Orga Itsuka, it's Orga Enzation. He's like a fucking Crash Bandicoot villain. Orga Enzation.
It's Orga Enzation.
And if you play Shield version, you get Orga and Zamazenta. Stupid podcast. I can tell that was a hit because you went fucking silent for like 10 seconds on my end.
You've got some fucking my pin tweet ass audio.
Yeah, I got some howling.
Oh, you got some fucking hyena cackle, baby. Christ. I really wish Discord didn't do that sound attenuation because I want people to hear my fucking shrieking blowing out their eardrums.
It's good. It's a good laugh. I like to hear it.
Thank you.
My note just says, accept your fate, honey. Poor Orga. This is when Eugene and Akihiro walk in and they tell Orga they're going to give him everything they have. So Orga can't be doing any of this behind their backs.
Yeah. I really like this line where he's like, oh, quit acting so cool. Are you really so cool that your life is worth more? Which I just want to mention that to put a pin in for when we come back to the end of the second episode. But Eugene is like, you gave everything for us. You gave us life. We were walking corpses and you made a family for us. And it's really sweet.
Yeah. It's like everyone, family love Orga.
Yeah.
Everyone, we cut from that. I think they're all in the mess hall. And they're talking, they're wanted. They can't fucking leave. And Kudelia has this idea that, she still has Makanai. She still has those connections. So if they can get to Earth, they're able to change their identity because, like, all of Tekkadan are registered as, like, they're registered in the fucking world, I guess.
The FBI most wanted list.
Yeah, through Arbrow. And just then, Dexter and Maybrit walk in fucking, like, hooting and hollering and fist bumping because they have access to, like, about 20% of their funds. So
it's really funny how money was an issue for exactly one episode. Like, I don't really give a shit about this. It's really funny that this episode, like, doom and gloom, like, oh fuck, we can't get any of our money. We're so screwed. And then it's just like, oh no, we can get money. It's chill.
Yeah, we can get money, but only some.
Shout out to Dexter Calculator for setting up a side fund of 20% of Tekkadan's income.
Yeah, fucking Dexter's the MVP.
King Dexter, honestly, King of Mars Dexter.
They with this news, they all talk about, they don't know what they're going to do when they're on Earth, and Mika's like, isn't it obvious? We just follow Orga. No one has a problem with this at this point still, it's fine. But they're going to call Earth, they're going to call Makanai. And then they try to call it, and they find out that fucking Comcast has cut their internet. Oh
Didn't
no.
pay the bill, boys.
I'm just gonna start getting mad about Comcast. I think about it too hard. That's the episode.
Please let that shit out. I want to hear your shit about.
Why the fuck did they just like randomly? I used to pay $39.99 a month for internet from Comcast, and then one day they're just like, surprise, you have to pay $60 now, and like with no change to my service. That's a big fucking jump.
I understand it's good that ISPs can do this. I
think it's probably really good that we have no choice but to pay exorbitant fees by these companies. It's great, actually.
I think this is a great country. McDonald's on every corner, baby. I mean, that's true. Not every country, but like. I had some fucking late night McDonald's the other night. Because like I've been trying to cut down on fast food, and one of the biggest benefits of this is that I have a local friend who I hang out with about once a week, and on the way home from her place is a 24-hour McDonald's, and the one thing saving me from like going there every fucking time is that there's normally like a line of cars out the back at like 2:30 a.m., which is normally when I'm driving home, and it's like, well, I'm not fucking waiting that's gonna be like at least a half hour before I get my Big Mac in my hand. But the other night I was driving home, it was completely empty, and I was like, yeah, I'll skirt on in here. And before I kind of like blinked, and then I was like driving out of there with a Big Mac and 2 hot and spicy McChickens, which is my typical order, I will admit, and also a vanilla milkshake and also a pretzel caramel flurry.
Ooh,
and a large
that
fries.
sounds decadent. Delicious.
Yeah, it was. I saved the McFlurry. I did not want the McFlurry after I finished the shake, so I just saved it for, and I had it last night. And, those things keep pretty well in the freezer.
No, good to know. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
This episode brought to you by McDonald's.
No! What if
Yeah, what do we got? What do we got?
McDonald Fareed.
Fuck, that's good. Oh my god, that's fucking like.
What was the fucking McDonald's? What was the not McDonald's that Char went?
It was
McDaniel.
McDaniel Fareed.
McDaniel Fareed. I think I know an Irish person named that.
Oh my god, tremendous. That's where the episode ends, by the way.
Yeah. So now we're into episode 48. Promise. The Crooked Media has labeled Tekadon a co-conspirator of the evil McGillis. They have no chance of beating Russell's Aryan Rod fleet, so Orga hatches a plan. Fake the death of everyone on Tekadon, get to Kryze, and have Makanai change their identities. McGillis squares off with the Aryan Rod fleet in Bile, and Eok, knowing that McGillis has to draw first blood in order for Aryan Rod intervention to be considered just, charges in and takes a Bile sword to the chest. After finalizing his plans with the help of Takaki, Orga sends Kudelian Atra off. Exiting the building, however, a car rolls up and opens fire. Orga cradles Ride between his arms in order to protect him from the hail of bullets and dies in the process, instructing Tekadon to never stop.
Oh.
I'm saluting so fucking. This is the death that I knew about, like, going in. Like, I think this was like the only death I knew, really. And I was like, I had the spoiler on me very, very early. I think it even happened like during the recording of an episode. And I was like, well, I'm ready for this one to, this one's just gonna hit me. This one's not gonna emotionally affect me whatsoever. And then I was fucking crying at the end.
There is this like really well orchestrated sense of like dread and anxiety where even if you don't know, like you feel something's up because it's just
someone's about to die.
It's so quiet and peaceful at the end of this episode. It's like the golden hour. You know, everyone's like, oh, we got Cordelia and Atra out safely. You know, no one's around. This is looking really, really good. And then just like fucking lightning bolt just goes to shit right away.
Right.
Like I had like a genuine like sense of anxiety as I was watching this episode because I was like, I know it's fucking coming. Rip to a real one.
Yeah. I think it's funny. I think it's funny now that we're done to look back at the list of characters that I thought were gonna die, because it's like I think that like this shows. I would have to look at some numbers about this, but like this does not feel. I feel like the show has a reputation for being like the sad Gundam, the deadly Gundam, but it's like I feel like we did not lose. We did definitely. I mean, obviously, by the end of this, sorry to spoil the episodes that we'll be talking about in 45-ish minutes, but like the main three do definitely beef it, which is probably unique in Gundam. But in terms of like the larger cast, I do not feel like that many characters die, because like looking at just like the people that I thought most of the characters were going to die. I did not foresee like a happy ending for this show.
Right.
Like here's my quote. Here's my post from 6 days ago. So here you prompted me to give me a list of who I think will die among the main characters, and I said Rustle and Eok both beef it. Actually, no, Eok living would be funnier, so I think he's okay. McGillis is toast. Baldwin, I can see a story where he lives being satisfying, but I think the show will kill him. And then here's the thing: Derma, Dante, Ride, Orga, Mika, Yukinojo, and Dane will die. That's so many characters.
Fired a lot of blanks there.
Yeah, and then I said I think one of Zack and Hush will die, but not sure which one. True.
True.
And then I said Maribit might die with Yukinojo, but if she lives, I think Atra will die. They all just lived.
They all just lives.
I expected a much more, given the show's reputation, I think had me expecting a lot more death and like lack of hope at the end of all of this. And I kind of feel like my watching experience was ever so slightly soured for it, which is like not that I had a bad time watching it or anything. I just think like I was expecting a lot more like sadness and death and dismay and despair. And so I was like, when the actual sad moments did hit, I was like, oh, is that it? That's the only, we're only getting one? Like, I think this definitely bore out the most in me, like, chanting blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne at the end of season 1.
Uh-huh.
But, yeah, I just think it's interesting. I think this show has a reputation for being a particularly lethal Gundam, and, like, granted, I've only seen 1.5 other series of Gundam, but, like, there's a lot of people that die just back in 79.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I don't know, like, I wouldn't necessarily say IBO has a reputation of being like one of the more deadly Gundams. It certainly has a higher body count in a lot of series. From what I understand, and I haven't seen Victory, but like everyone says Victory is like the fucked up, the one where Yoshiyuki Tomino got his nickname of Kill 'em all Tomino. But yeah, I don't know. IBO, I feel like it's less of like a deadly Gundam and more of just like kind of like the most grounded, like brutal Gundam as you're going through it. Just because like it's more visceral just all throughout the entire thing. The whole thing of like mobile suits doing melee combat, and you get to see the insides of the cockpits of people getting gooshed all the time. Mm-hmm. But like,
them getting gooshed on Rebaked Full City.
Thank you so much. And I don't know. I think like the happy ending works for it because
it does. It totally does.
And I think what treats me well about the ending of so many people making it out okay is that Mikaki, Hiro, Orga, everyone who's like fighting put themselves on the line harder than they ever had before in order to protect people. Like that's what they know. All they know is to fight to protect something. And like by God, they fucking did it in these last episodes.
Yeah, they sure did.
It is an earned happiness because of like the sacrifices that were made, I think.
Yeah. Again, to be clear, this is not me saying this is like a condemnation of the ending for not being dark enough or anything. I think I may have just misinterpreted some of the reputation that this show has. Like I think I confused brutal for just has a high body count. Because like in other things that I've read, like the brutal tag does also can come with a high body count. Like I think like Chainsaw Man, for example, is an example. Like, that is a very brutal series that also says like sorry to anyone who's currently reading or thinking about reading Chainsaw Man, not a lot of characters make it to the end of that one.
Yeah, honestly, less than I thought would when I read through it.
Like, I'm genuinely running through my head of like named characters that make it to the end, and I've got like not counting like any reincarnations or respawns, and I'm like, what do I got? I got
a very, very small list of characters make it through that.
Like 3 or 4 named characters make it. 3 or 4 like named characters that show up in more than one chapter, I guess I should specify.
Notable characters, yeah.
Right, because accounting Greg, he shows up in one chapter.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways, I'm just going long about this. So we open with like the Tekadon deserters, like Zack and the rest, seeing Galahorn surrounding them. They're just like, fuck, they're not gonna give a shit that we left, huh?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like they talk about how like no matter where they go, they're always gonna be like Tekadon members.
Right. Branded for life.
They got that notoriety now. Rustle orders his men not to attack, but like, don't move, keep the pressure up, keep them surrounded until, the plan is set in motion. We see him talking to Nobliss, so he knows that like he controls the presses pretty much. We hear that Galahorn is beginning so it's like nighttime right now, right? We learned that they're going to begin like the cleanup operation is what they call it. Tomorrow at noon Mars time, which first of all, very funny. Is the whole planet on Mars time? I know time zones are on Earth. Did we just
Sorry, a fucking bolt just shot through my body because I realized something about them. This is not relevant to this episode. I just literally like sat bolt upright because I realized something that made me so fucking mad about about one character's end in this show. I'm sorry to interrupt your sentence for a teaser for me getting really mad, but
okay, good. I can't wait. But yeah, it's noon Mars time, whatever time zone of Mars that is, and we learned that like Galahorn talks about how Teknon has refused our calls, our requests for a surrender, and of course, they Comcasted their internet, so they couldn't accept the surrender, but they definitely would have if they had the option.
Right. Would that I could,
but I can't, so I won't. McGillis talks to Mika about what Mika's plans are, and Mika's just like, I don't give a shit about you. I'm here for Orga. Stop talking to me, please. It's very weird when I feel like Mika talking to McGillis is like, or McGillis talking to Mika is like the how to talk to a short person thing.
Yeah.
He has to do the squat and everything.
Yeah.
But we gotta go through a secret tunnel like Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Exactly. Sorry, I'm just trying to...
Yeah. It is Yuki Noja who brings the tunnel up. He says it, like, dates back to Calamity War.
The plan just kind of coalesces in this meeting where it's like, well, let's just fucking blow this place sky high, make it look like we all died. There's tunnels to get out of here. We can also use some, like, old Calamity War cables to talk to people.
Yeah, My Chemical Romance, fake your death.
Yeah. Orga says, this battle isn't about killing someone to end it. It's about all of us surviving. That's our objective. Stay alive, and we win by surviving. And my note for that says, lol, everyone in this room is going to die, huh? Again, just expecting a much more myopic ending.
Yeah.
Hold on, I need to Google myopic real quick to make sure I said it right. Or no, I said it right, but no, that's not myopic. That's not what myopic means.
Okay,
A much more miserable ending, I guess.
Yeah.
Is the word I want. Is probably the word I was reaching for that got mixed up with myopic.
This isn't a note from the actual episode content. Did you notice that this episode really does the Evangelion trick of like have characters having their mouths covered or backs turned to the camera constantly so we can save animation budget?
I did not. No.
I don't know. I don't know if it's just specifically this one or it was like all the finale leading up to it. Because like they break the budget out at the end for like the cool fucking fight at the end. But like in this episode specifically, you see a lot of characters like back to the camera, only their eyes, only like neck down, talking, just so like you don't need to animate the mouth that much. It was a very strange thing to notice.
I didn't catch that, but now I'm curious to watch this episode. I'm sure I'll watch this series again at some point. I'll try and keep that in mind when I do.
I will say, I mean, this is my rewatch. It's good on a rewatch. I think I like it more now. But yeah, Orga tells McGillis the plan of like, we're going to go through the tunnel. We got to clean it out first. McGillis tells Orga that he's just going to like find a way to break through Galahorn himself. So Orga's able to like escape with a few people to get the word out. He's being very tsundere about this. He's like, well, it's my strategy. You can go along with it if you want, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's very weird. It's like a weirdly like it on a more objective read. You could see him maybe like kind of caring about Orga, but like we kind of know. I mean, I don't know. I guess he's probably still so caught up in his plan that he's like, whatever. I'll let Orga like do his thing too. But it's weird that he seems to be making concessions for Orga when he really wouldn't normally do that.
I mean, what leverage does he have to say no?
Yeah, really, honestly.
He's kind of just got to be along for the ride at this point. Like, he's got Bael, but like, nobody in Tekkadan gives a shit, or nobody in Galahorn gives a shit about like, Bael, and nobody in Tekkadan gives a shit about Bael.
No, yeah, absolutely not. So we learned that it's going to be, Orga, Chad, Rai, Kudelia, and Atra. They're going to take like, one of the trucks there. Atra refuses to go at first. He doesn't want to leave anyone behind. And, Kudelia asks Atra to help her keep her promise. And this is when Meribit realizes Atra was Galahorn. Which is just... Imagine Meribit's fucking shock.
Yeah, and it's really funny that Chad is also here for this scene because he makes a shocked reaction.
Yeah. Chad rules. He's like low-key one of the best Tekkadan boys, I think.
He only... All Chad knows is who in Tekkadan is porking.
Exactly.
I just wanted to jump back a little bit. When Tekkadan is like, oh fuck, they found the tunnel. Eugene finds the tunnel, but it's really backed up and beaten to shit, and they gotta dig through by hand. And then Eugene like yells to Yuki Noja's like, "Hey old man, put on Diggy Diggy Hole 10 hours edition."
Yeah, he gets the fucking like the tiny 10-year-old human debris kids are like, this is just like Minecraft.
I'm Tekkadan and I'm Diggy Diggy Hole.
McGillis, was it? The next thing is, as they're getting ready to leave, McGillis is getting ready to suit up. He's like in his normal suit now. He talks to Mika, and he asks Mika for help, and he's like, he tells Mika, I thought you fought beautifully, and your power could secure a bright future. I believe you could guide Tekkadan's power, or he believed that he could guide Tekkadan's power, but like he realizes like you're just blind, unrestrained power. There's no ideals behind what you guys are doing. You can't be guided. I don't know why he's telling Mika this, because Mika's definitely not listening, but sure. He has to pontificate one last time.
Yeah. Just, Asher was pontificate.
Orga, we see Orga, he like kind of runs McGillis off. McGillis goes off to, he's in bail and he's going to fight. Mika asks if Tekkadan's place was Mars, and Orga just says that he's going to find the next place to go. And,
yeah, I found a place for us. It starts with H and ends with Evan.
Yeah. And Mika's like worried about Orga's safety without him there, so he just fucking hands him his 9mm.
Yeah, just and it brings back memories of when Mika popped with that guy and all of his money exploded out of him like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, and
like more like River City Ransom. Sonic doesn't have money explode. Well, rings are kind of money. Depends on who you at. Depends on what game you're playing.
If you have enough rings, it turns into like fucking wads of cash.
Yeah, yeah.
Kudelia and Atra both kiss Mika on the cheek, and he like Hush is like what is it? I think Ride is turning backwards, and Hush is like covering his eyes.
Yeah, he's covering his eyes so he doesn't watch Mikazuki's beautiful GF saying goodbye to him.
Yeah, Ride's like, I don't think we should be seeing this right now. It's very cute.
It's so sweet. God, I think one of the major complaints that I have about this second season is that I feel like Hush is not in it enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like he gets presented to me as though he is like a new main character, and he's certainly in it more than like any of the other new guys. Like between the four main new guys that I'm counting for season 2 are him, Zach, Dane, and God, I almost said Derma. And I feel like Hush is like in the first OP of this, or the first ED of the season, it's baby Orga and Mika, which has like huge story like resonance, like them as babies is shown so much throughout the entire show. And also Hush is a baby, and that really made me think that like he was going to be like a more major player in this. And
maybe they planned it and just kind of like fell flat, because they really were leading Hush in to be more important than he ends up being.
Yeah, and I don't dislike what they end up doing with him. It's just a little bit, it just makes me feel a little bit like, kind of feel like I'm missing something with this character.
It could have been more like weighty.
Yeah. His send-off has a lot more heft to it than I feel like I would have expected for the amount of screen time he had.
Right, yeah. Very, very sad. Just fucking threw my phone across this room. Rip to Bakugo. Very sad.
Salute
not
Bakugo.
Yet, but you know.
Yeah, soon.
So McGillis gets in bail. He sorties. He draws aggro. Eox has this Russell's orders to do nothing until the enemy attacks. So Eox flies forward and like baits McGillis to attack and like begin the fighting, and just again get parried casual. Like McGillis just fucking crunches him right away.
I thought he died here. I thought Eox died here, and I was like, this is actually a really good end for this character that I was not expecting. And so it's that much funnier that he lives this and then dies in a much more pathetic way in the next episode.
I know. Like
after this, I guess.
I fully come around on Eox. I fucking love him. Like he's
so fucking stupid. He can't even fucking die right.
Like he fits perfectly into my ideal Gundam archetype, which is just like fail guy. Like we love Eox here.
I gotta watch Zeta because you fucking love
Jared Mesa is my favorite Gundam character because I've never seen a character fail upwards in a more compelling way than Jared. Like
go on.
I was saying his rivalry with Camille is like the analog is Char and Amuro, because Camille's the main character and Jared is effectively the main. He's not the main villain, but he's like the antagonist to Camille.
Sure.
And it's just so fucking funny that Camille no-sells it. He's like, I don't like it. It's the fucking. Sorry to talk about Avengers Endgame, but it's like that part of Endgame when Scarlet Witch is attacking Thanos, and he's like, "You took everything from me," and Thanos is like, "I don't know who you are." Like, right? It's kind of that.
For you, the day I destroyed your village was the most important day of your life. For me, it was a Tuesday.
Yeah, it's M. Bison shit.
To reference a better movie.
Yeah, truly. But
speaking of, by the way, I watched Raul Julia in just in a drama role recently, Kiss of the Spider Woman. God, I would love to kiss a Spider Woman. It's so sad that his last role and his lasting legacy is M. Bison. He's so genuinely. If you want to see more Raul Julia, Kiss of the Spider Woman, phenomenal.
I'm making notes emoji. So let's see.
Eox attempts to throw himself on this grenade as First Blood, and he doesn't. It does work. He just doesn't die.
He doesn't die, yeah. But the fight begins. As McGillis is fighting, he reflects on Lupus Rex, King of the Wolves. Wolves move in packs, but that's not for me. It's time to part ways.
Yeah, I'm too nutty to move. I'm too nutty. I got to move on my own.
Yeah, and this is when we learn Orga made it out safely with everyone else. We see Hush and Dane are shoveling in the tunnel, and Zach shows up.
Yep.
He has nowhere else to go, so we might as well help out. Good for you, Zach.
Might as well diggy hole.
Diggy hole. Everyone makes it to Admos Company. We see Russell talking to Galileo about he knows McGillis is going to come after him, so they're just kind of laying in wait in space because they know that fucker's getting there eventually.
Mm-hmm.
We learned that the same thing I said earlier about Tekkadan couldn't accept the surrender because they never got the signal. Makanai, they're able to go in contact with Makanai, and he says, "Yeah, we'll help you change your identity. You just have to fucking make it to Earth." And they hear Takaki's voice. It's nice that we get to see Takaki again.
Yeah, I was really worried when he showed up back up on screen because I was like, I had this when Laughter and Akihiro parted ways. I was like, okay, well at least Laughter will be out of the line of fire, and then I was proven wrong approximately 3.5 minutes later. So when Takaki left and with Fuka, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Takaki's not going to be in the line of fire anymore. So when he showed back up here, I was like, oh fuck.
You're like, Takaki, get away from the camera.
This is the end of Final Destination 3 when Kevin shows on the train that's about to explode that Mary Elizabeth Winstead and her sister are on.
I'm nodding.
Yeah. It's a great flick.
I believe you.
If you want to see a guy named Frankie Cheeks' head get exploded into a fine paste, look no further.
Frankie Cheeks. Good. But yeah, because Makanai's going to help him because he wants to repay them for all their help for getting him elected and then surviving and everything.
Yeah.
Kukubita gets an email
from Ozzy. This fucking scene.
This is so good.
I was hooting and hollering. Fucking end the show here. I don't give a shit about Tekkadan. I don't give a shit about anything else. They show me Ozzy in Naze's fit, and I am just fucking. They're calling her the White Naze.
She's the White Naze. She has fucking infinitely more swag than Naze ever did wearing the exact same outfit.
She's wearing the fucking Michael Jackson Moonwalker outfit.
They're calling her Mars Walker.
She's on your SNES. She does do a spin move to hit bad guys.
Woo! And she doesn't even say the
Echo is there also, and Echo's there also. She's got a colored jacket. It's cool.
Yeah, I think they all have black jackets now because it's fucking they're cooler. They're the cooler turbans.
Yeah, they got rid of that square up at the top, and they just became infinitely more lesbianly.
Yeah. Atra and Kudelia say goodbye to Orga. They're just gonna hide out in the Atmos company office till it's all over.
Mm-hmm.
Orga and Kudelia, we haven't gotten Orga and Kudelia in so long.
No, we haven't. This is so good.
This scene of them both laughing about how Kudelia's original idea was to share in the pain of kids her age, which is the reason she picked Tekkadan. She was like, "Oh, I was an arrogant idiot back then." They're both just having a sensible chuckle about it. It's so fucking nice.
It's really nice. God, even talking about it now, I'm getting a little bit teary. Not even about Orga, just how far they've come, where they started and where they wound up, how they're
yeah.
Kudelia, for all my complaints about how some of the other women in the show are treated, Kudelia is a phenomenal fucking character. I love I think her or Atra probably my favorite two in this entire show. Just in terms of I'm talking about completeness as a character. I think Atra is more fun than she is a complete character, but Kudelia is just up and down fucking rock solid, phenomenal character.
Yeah, she spins her wheels in the beginning. That's because she was just doing a sick burnout.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense now. She's like, oh, ooh, do I want, ooh, and then she's she gets her feet under her, and she actually, the wheels start going the wheels start going forward instead of in circles, and it's just thinking about the scene is I don't know. Those first couple episodes are, it's just, I'm a little emotional.
Yeah, and it's it's nice that the last thing we see Orga do before the incident is have a nice laugh because, he knows there's a future for Kudelia and Atra. Ride and Chad are outside in the car. They walk out and
Yep. And my notes literally, here's my notes. It's awfully quiet out here. Uh-oh!
Yeah, fucking a car rolls up and there's hitmen and we see Chad get shot in the shoulder.
Yeah. Here's my even before I see Orga catch a single bullet, my notes say something screeches around the corner and there goes Orga. Orga's not the first one to catch a bullet here. Chad catches one in the shoulder, but I'm just immediately okay, Orga's dead here.
Yep.
Chad catches one in the shoulder, but Orga just cradles Ride and protects him from the bullets entirely. And then he pops back how JFK shoulda.
Yeah.
he turns around, he grabs the 9mm, turns around, plow, one shot, nails a dude straight in the dome.
Yeah, and he is full of like 50 bullets right now. So like it makes sense that they like freak the fuck out and drive off. Like they know Orga's dead. That was the hit. That was all they had to do. They don't need to kill everyone there. But they're gone, and like Orga stands up so shaky, just like fucking gushing blood everywhere. And Ride is just like stammering, like, boss, you
not for like. There's a line that he says here. I don't know if he said it in the dub, but in the sub, he says a line like, "Not for me." Like There's such a hurt in Ride's voice about like knowing that he was the like, not even that he did something wrong that got Orga killed, like that Orga threw away his life for someone like him, and like I think this is a really, really phenomenal thing that I didn't notice until I talked to my friend Morgan about this. Not Morgan from podcast, different Morgan. Morgan I've referenced a couple of times in the show. But like, she was just kind of like, Orga presents a big game about how his life is more important as the boss. Like he tries to offer himself as a martyr for Tekkadan, the way that like the Ishbalan leaders try to do that to King Bradley, and he just said one life is one life. But like, Orga cannot just fucking let a kid die.
No, we know Orga would do this for literally any member of Tekkadan.
Anyone. Orga talks a big game. He is the least important member of Tekkadan in his mind by a country mile.
Yeah, he fully believes he is small potatoes.
He does. And God, this entire fucking scene, dude.
It's so good. Like IBO just fucking hits at the end. It's so great.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
He's walking. He's like shambling forward. He's talking about how he's the boss. This is nothing but a
This is my job to protect my friends.
It's his
Everyone's
job.
waiting. As long as we don't stop, this road will continue.
Yeah, and he's never going to quit. He's going to be at the end waiting for them as long as Tekkadan never quits.
As long as you don't stop, I'll be at the end waiting for you.
Like the final visual metaphor of like Orga's face down, covered in blood, pointing forward, and like the blood pools forward from its finger, like continuing the path. Like, fucking great.
Yeah,
good
it's
shit.
So fucking good. Mika feels a disturbance in the Force about this.
Yeah, in this episode.
Which I don't mind this happening once.
What? How about 10 times?
This happening once is fine. I can live with it. Like, but sorry to like fucking go from like me getting really heartfelt about a scene to me like fucking cinema sensing this. I just like, this is specifically a world where this is specifically a Gundam universe where new types do not exist, and yet everyone is getting fucking Force feelings of other people dying.
Yeah, it's like
I get that it's kind of like a plot contrivance. Like, okay, yeah, a character dies, and you cut to someone else like saying something about the character dying. Makes sense, but
it's strange. Yeah,
it is. But
he feels it. Sure, that's where the episode kind of ends.
Time for the next episode.
Time for the next episode. Episode 49. McGillis Farid. I love that shit.
Character episode.
More shows should have just the episode title some guy's fucking name.
I want to know, like, I want to find like a repository of every Gundam episode that has ever been named after a character, like first name, last name, and if any character named in the episode will survive to the end of it.
I know, right?
Because we only had two in this season, right? We had McGillis Farid and Fumatan Admas. God, Fumatan! I miss Fumatan so much. I haven't thought about her in so long.
I know. Fuck, I forgot about. Oh man, bummer. I miss her. She's hanging out.
She's chilling.
She's in fucking. She's
fucking Goku tweets. I received word that Orga Itsuka has checked in at Kinkai's station. He's joining Fumatan Admas and Biscuit.
Cross Snake Way.
He crossed Snake Way.
Let's see. So, in the wake of Orga's death, Mika rallies Tekkadan together and says that Orga's orders still stand. They are all to live until they die and make it to the place Orga would lead them to. As the tunnel continues to be dug, Mika, Akihiro, Hush, Dante, Eugene, and some young boys hold off Gjallarhorn so they can make it through. McGillis makes his final journey into space where he single-handedly challenges the Aryan Rod fleet. Gaelio Sordi's intending to take McGillis out. As they fight, their Gundams are damaged and McGillis makes it into Rustel's ship, attempting to take him out and end this conflict. Gaelio ends up shooting him and stops him from making his final confession, refusing to forgive him like Ayn and Karda would have wanted. Another just fucking incredible episode ending here.
Yeah, yeah, God. I just the episode opens with Sorry, I'm laughing because the episode opens with like everyone reacting to word of Orga's death, and yeah, like Nobilis gets word of Orga dying and is like being smug about it, I guess, and we see all of Tekadon reacting, and my notes just said, God, Zach's face, and I was like, what the fuck kind of face is Zach making? I watched that episode like an hour and a half ago, but I don't remember what it is, and I went and scrubbed through the episode, and I'm starting to do so much visual content in these episodes,
sure.
but here's Zach's face when he finds out that Orga died.
Oh no! Oh, poor guy.
It's just such a funny face in comparison to everyone else who's like fucking openly weeping.
I know.
I mean, no one in this picture is
Nani-type
openly
face.
weeping, but yeah. Masaka.
We see Nobilis. Nobilis is like calling his hitmen, and he's like, he's surprised that Orga actually died. But he's relieved Cordelia's alive because business is business. And then we see everyone gets the call from Ride. Everyone's sad and mad. People want fucking revenge with a capital R. And this is when Mika gathers everyone together and like gives his address.
Yeah, he's looked at Barbatos and about to give the State of the Union.
Yeah, and like it's like this very awkward. It's funny, right? Because like Mika is not. He doesn't talk to people. He's not the fucking spokesperson. So it's like this very awkward silence as he kind of like stands shirtless on like the open cockpit of Barbatos, just kind of like staring at everyone for a little while. But then he says Orga's final orders still hold true. He just wants to laugh it up with everyone when they reach their goal. And he's like, I will crush anyone in my way, no matter who they are. Like, not that he needs to threaten Tekadon, but just like, he's on the fucking warpath right now.
Yeah, and we get like a close up of Mikazuki's eyes, and for the first time in possibly this entire series, there's like emotion to them. They're not. I mean, he's had emotion on his face before, but like his eyes have an emotion to them that I feel like we haven't seen much before. Like the amount of detail that went into this drawing of a close up of his eye is just unreal. Like he is not.
Yeah, you can tell he's ready to fucking kick ass.
We get like some Sakuga as he just like adjusts his position and says, "Live until you die," and carry out his orders.
Yeah, it's good. Nobilis talks to Rust a little bit.
This is when we get the Nobilis or Rusta. We will sell the Aryan Rod's latest weapons.
Oh, we're in cahoots. Money, cha-ching.
Yeah, but big dollar bills.
Julieta,
Baba Booey.
Baba. Atra's Baba Booey. Julieta
laments. was Baba Booey.
Julieta laments that, like, the shady adults Tekadon had to deal with to get to their goal, and Rustel's like, Julieta, I am one of those shady adults too. You understand that, right?
Yeah, and she's like, I understand. Everyone fight.
Yeah, she's like, I understand, but we're righteous ones. We're on the right side here.
I wanted Julieta to kill Rustel so badly. I don't think it makes it a bad show for Rustel making it to the end or anything. I really wish Rustel had died though, just for like my own personal satisfaction.
That's the thing. I think the most surprising death or not death is Rustel.
Yeah, Rustel making it to the end and like being like enshrined as the president of Gallarhorn again is so. You
can't help but laugh.
So, okay, this is actually making me think like, did they just forgive him using the Dyne's Leaf because it was to kill Tekadon? Like,
yeah, it was. He was never the aggressor.
4 or 5 episodes ago. Well, like, even with the aggressor, like, unless someone uses a Dyne's Leaf on you, like, per like the rules of engagement that we saw in the episode with McGillis's fleet versus Gallarhorn, like, in the episode where this is the episode where Naze died, like, Rustel had to send a mole to fire a Dyne's Leaf at the Aryan Rod fleet before it would be justified for them to use it. But here, Shino's not even here to do like the faux Dyne's Leaf with the Ryusei Go 4. It's just interesting. Like he just busted out the Dyne's Leaf fleet, and it's like, yeah, let's chill.
Yeah, everyone looked away for a couple seconds because they knew that he was going to kill McGillis, and they wouldn't have to deal with his shit anymore.
Yeah,
they're fine with it.
Like, I do not see it.
I simply do not see it. I'm looking away.
But I'm jumping forward like a whole episode at this point to talk about that.
At this point, we're very safe to assume that people listening to the final...
I'm not like saying for spoilers' sake, just for like continuity discussion. I don't trust myself to hold on to these concepts for long enough.
Yeah, sure. Yes. Say it if you got it. So we learned that it's going to take about 2 hours to reach the end of the tunnel. So Mika, Hush, Akihiro, Dante are like the main fighting force. They gotta hold everyone off.
And Durma 985 wants to join.
Yep, he wants to join, and Akihiro explains, like, you're not human debris anymore. Like, you have to live too, motherfucker. Like, you need to listen to Orga.
I really like that Akihiro explicates that it's not because of his missing arm.
Yeah.
Like, it's not because we don't think you can fucking swing with the best of them even without an arm. Your life means something now. You can't just fucking toss it into the shredder.
Yeah. It's just like, again, while the ending doesn't really dwell a whole lot on, like, the concept of human debris, it's like the character's reaction towards the human debris that are part of Tekadon is like what's more telling of how like basically everyone believes that they have worth now.
The way the human debris stuff wraps up does feel a little bit pat to me, but you know, it's we'll get there. We'll get to that.
Yeah. Eugene is gonna use Orga's Shiden, the weird.
Yeah, we meet some brand new boys who are very important characters. That are Embi, Elgar, Hirume, and Tro. Yeah,
love my four favorite Tekadon boys.
Name one of the character names I just said.
Elgar. He was one of the guys who, like, Kudelia taught to read with Mika.
Okay, yeah, you got me there.
Yeah, I don't remember the other ones already, but you know what? One is good enough.
Yeah, I could not have done that back to you. There's a really funny scene where Eugene is like talking to Orga and the actor's like, "Sir, I'm using your epic machine," and all the kids are like, "Is he even that good? I saw Mikazuki beat him. Wait, no, that was Akihiro. No, I saw Chad beat him." And it's just like all of them going to the laundry list of everyone in Tekadon who's beating Eugene's ass.
Yeah, it rules. I love it.
I fucking love Eugene.
Mirabit and Yukinojo are talking to, and like, you know, Yukinojo's going to stay back to supervise all this, and Meribit's like, all right, well, but, you know, I'm pretty popular around here. If you keep me waiting, I might become someone else's girl. I love the flirting they do. Do
you want to get cut? Are you looking to get cucked, Yukinojo? Don't let me. No.
You want to get cucked by Chad, of all people?
No! Chad would never, but, I mean... Chad respects Yukinojo and respects women too much.
That's true. It's go time, though. Gallahorn begins the artillery assault. They're just like firing from the
right before it's go time. Sorry, this is a really nice scene where Mika's just like sitting to himself and he like talks to Orga and is like, "What should I do next, Orga?" And he says, "Oh, never mind. I already know. I just wanted to ask."
Yeah, it's God. Oh, I think. It's good. I love it.
This scene just this entire like fight starts off with Mikazuki being like, "Our only objective is to buy some time. We're gonna get ground to shreds eventually, but let's make it as slowly as possible." And Barbatos's claws are so fucking sick.
Yeah, the fucking gold claws.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
I really want a Barbatos Lupus Rex.
I will say the Lupus Rex does the hands in the Lupus Rex, unless you buy the 1/100 size, I don't think they're not painted. They're just like the gray. You got to paint those.
I mean, I know my way around. I went to art school for 4 years. Come on,
that's true. Yeah, I did buy a bunch of like very fine tip Michaels brushes.
I saw they look so the kit you painted with them looks so fucking good.
Fucking Beetles. Oh, speaking of Beetles, did you see the new Gundams and suits from Witcher Mercury?
I don't think I did. I saw the preview, but I did not see much else.
Okay, I won't derail the show, because it'd be something we talk about for a while, but I'll post it later just because, like, there's, like, a giant fucking, like, pink beetle-looking suit that I'm obsessed with.
Okay, can you please... Okay, post that now, though, because I really want to see the pink... We don't have to talk about the rest of it. I just want to see the pink beetle right now.
Okay. And en.gundam.info/about-gundam/theories-pages/witch. The website's pretty slow to load, but if I scroll down here, mobile suit. There we go. More, please. The Gundam Aerial. We know this one already. I want to talk about Guels de Lanza. Let me just post this shit right here. It's not going to give you a preview. You just got to click it. But once you see this thing, it is a giant fucking like beetle horn and a huge ass like feather in its cap. It's like pink and gunmetal gray with a really cool yellow visor. This thing kicks ass.
Oh, this thing. Oh, it's so. Yes, I did see this guy. It's Stumpy.
And if you look at the bottom right, he's the pilot Guel Jaturk, who has like fucking Fire Emblem hair.
Do they show the pilot?
Oh yeah, he's in the bottom right. Of the page.
Hello. That's a friend.
The character designs in G-Witch are all fucking incredible. It's like Gundam Business School. It's really funny, the premise.
I'm very excited to watch this. As like, do we know where in the canon this is existing?
Yeah, this is a new timeline. It's called
I'm going to go back at this point. I'm going to go back and watch.
It's Ad Stella.
But Ad Stella, so just not connected.
It is the year AS 122. Again, tune into Valkyrie in October, I think, for G-Witch coverage. But until then,
I'm posting Big Boss emoji.
Yes. So yeah, they're buying time. We cut to McGillis, who he's like he's on his ship somehow. He just flies to space. He's on his ship. He's addressing his men, tells them the world will be your oyster when you win. But he like runs them all off the ship just because, like, he needs to do this
I alone will suffice. But he needs to have some alone time with fucking Toto.
Fucking Toto. How is he still around? How has he not been like beefed by a stray Dinesleaf?
Toto being alive now is just so. Why is this character here?
Why is he here? Well, it's so fucking funny that McGillis just keeps his ass around.
Right.
It's so good. But, like, he just tells Toto those who reign are destined to reign alone, and those who alone are free. And Toto's like, "Oh, happy hunting, boss. I have a case of stogies that's calling my name."
I gotta go send a cringe-ass message to this girl on Facebook that I love. Snickers nefariously.
We just get one last shot at Toto before we go.
Yeah, Toto gets a better sign-off for this show than fucking Almeria does.
Incredible shit.
When we get to we're coming up with the Almeria scene, which is the thing that made me sit bolt upright earlier when I realized and got really mad about it.
Tremendous.
So McGillis' ship is closing on the Aryan Rod fleet, and he's just like he just goes riding the whip now. He like pops Bael out and just has his ship careen into a bunch of Aryan Rod fleet ships.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, I'll show you a world which only true pure power can. I'll show you a world. Oh my god. I'll show you a world of truth which only pure power, the Pokemon ability, can create.
My attack stat is doubled.
Oh,
do pure power and huge power do the same thing?
Yes, they do.
Why the fuck are they different? Whatever.
I mean, emergency exit and whatever Wimpod.
Whip out. No, that's fun because it's just the flavor of Glycopod calling it something cooler, even though he's still a fucking weenie deep down. That's good to me.
It is. So we get the eye catch, then we get back from the eye catch, we get an Almeria scene, and I think this is the only Almeria scene we get without McGillis.
Yes.
I mean, his name is mentioned a lot, but no, actually, I feel like there was like one scene in season 1 where she was like hanging out with Baldwin, and he was like, "Oh, McGillis is off doing something." But I also might have that reverse, and she was hanging out with McGillis, and he was like, "Oh, Baldwin's off doing something." Anyways, and Papa Baldwin is there, and he's like, "Oh, we gotta go back for the Baldwin mansion." And she's like, "No, I haven't forgiven Mackie, but I am still his wife. His sins are my sins. I will wait for my husband here and atone for his sins together." And this is we get one shot. This is not the very, very last we see of Almeria. After McGillis bites it, we get Almeria sensing a disturbance in the Force. Mm-hmm. This fucking sucks. This being where this character is left off is awful.
Yeah,
I am just like I would not if they had managed to stick some kind of landing here with this character, I would not have like been happy with the McGillis Almeria stuff. But I would have been like, I kind of see what they were going for. They kind of fumbled a lot, but they stuck on something at the end. But the fact that this character just ends being like, I will wait for my adult husband to come back of my sins. And then just like, this is what the character's left on. We don't get anything else from this character for the rest of the fucking show. And for everyone else who gets such an end cap put on them, there is just nothing.
Yeah.
It's just so frustrating. God. Ugh. Really, really irritating. I know I've talked the Almeria stuff to death, but it's just, we
talk about it because it fucking sucks.
I feel like they both want her to be like a pawn that doesn't matter to the story and also like a character. And like, if she was just a pawn who didn't matter to the story, I would feel silly getting so worked up about it because it's like, she is basically a pawn for McGillis, but also she's present enough that if she showed up like once or twice and was just referred to by McGillis and she's just off screen for so much of this, like, I would not have nearly as much of an issue with this. I would still have an issue, don't get me wrong, but like, the fact that she is still showing up and still being a character and it just gets left like this, like this character's arc ends with I am 9-year-old baby. My adult husband's sins are mine. I will wait for him and we will atone together. And end character.
Yeah, like, are you sure, Almeria? Was there anything else you maybe wanted to say?
I mean, her entire character is just based around McGillis, so I guess it makes sense they didn't think to give her a second, like, things I know about Almeria. 1, Baldwin. 2, in love with McGillis. 3, was jealous of the older woman's big boobies that one time. 4.
Yeah. Uh-oh, that's it. We ran out.
Like, come on, give me something to work with here.
sucks.
Like, honestly, even with the way that this ends, I no longer feel like I think, like, I can see the skeleton of what they were attempting for. They just fucked it. They just wanged it so badly.
Yeah,
this does not
it
hit
just
anywhere close to
whiffed.
where they wanted to.
Completely fucking whiffed. I agree.
Huge whiff. And it sucks to have this big fucking goose egg in the middle of everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is a great finale other than this. Like, I've had my qualms about it as we've been talking about it this episode, but, like, really most of my complaints are, like, I kind of wish that this had been, like, resolved ever so slightly differently, or, like, oh, a small nitpick. This just out and out fucking sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I really, I don't want to say that I like Almeria as a character, because I don't. Like, I don't know her as a character. But, like, I just like think kid characters in an otherwise adult scenario are just, like, that's fun in anime. I like that. It just...
Yeah.
Just a wet fucking fart.
Doesn't fucking do it well here. Yeah, no, it sucks. I agree.
Yeah. Anyways, we cut back to McGillis, and he's saying, I, the Gjallarhorn exile, will put an end to the commander of the Aryan Rod fleet myself. This act will change the world. And he's just going fucking absolutely nutty with this.
Yeah, he's just saying shit. This is a libertarian moment, what my notes say. This is when Galio pops out in Kamar Sodar and, like, activates Ein, and, you know, he just rolls into fight. Gotta throw hands. Back on Mars, the fighting's continuing. Poor Hush just gets, like, fucking stabbed completely through the cockpit. Like, he's bisected. But he's, like, wants to keep fighting till he dies. And, like, Mika saves him one last time. And Hush, you know, he admits Mika's pretty awesome. And he tells Mika, he's like, don't worry, I'll catch up. You keep going. And Mika's like, okay, I'll leave this to you. Like, he says, I'm counting on you, Hush. And, like, Hush is, like, dying as he says it. And, like, Mika knows, but, like, it is a nice ending for Hush, for Mika to, like, you know, they recognize each other. And then Mika's like, yeah, all right, like, I know you got this. It's just like, oh.
I wish we had gotten, this is, like, I guess there's a casualty of not getting more Hush this season.
Mm-hmm.
I felt so, like, what are we doing here when, like, the Bulith stuff came up? And it's like, I know we had tread that ground before, but we had tread it, like, exactly once. Like, Hush's past is referred to, like, I think, like, in one episode where we get some just exposition about his backstory, and then I just feel like he doesn't really, I feel like he does not, this just doesn't come up very much, I feel like, for this character. Like, it feels like it is, like, trying to invoke something that we have, an imagery that we have seen multiple times, like, him reaching out with, like, Bulith's back to him and everyone else leaving him behind. But, like, I feel like it is trying to invoke more tread upon imagery than it actually does tread upon that imagery.
Sure.
If that makes any sense at all.
Yeah, no, I get what you're going for. It's just like,
okay.
There again, it's like going back to what we talked about before. There's just, like, so little that we get with Hush that, like, doesn't really get tied up, and it certainly is
this death is still sad. Like, I'm just like, there's a couple of things that undercut it ever so slightly for me.
Yeah, but Hush is gone.
Yeah.
We cut back into space, and Galio tells McGillis, he's like, your eyes don't see me, your ears don't hear me. Look at me, McGillis. Mm-hmm. Rustle says, hey, don't interfere. I want to see this shit rules. let them fight.
Yeah,
I want to see this shit.
You haven't seen ReZero, right?
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna do some minor ReZero spoilers, but the midway point of the first season just has the main character Subaru just posting, like, gargantuan amounts of cringe. Like, he basically walks up to the Royal Order of one of the heads of the Royal Order of Knights is like, oh, you guys aren't that fucking smart stuff, and the Royal Order of Knights, like, just goes to challenges to a one-on-one duel with wooden swords and beats the tar out of him. Uh-huh. And in the middle of this, like, the Royal Knight, like, the head of the Knights is like second in command to a princess vying for the throne, and in the middle of the fight, like, someone runs into the room and is like, "Oh, Miss Anastasia, your second in command is beating the shit out of Natsuki Subaru," and she's like, "Well, could you have waited to tell us who won at least?"
Yeah.
Well, Julius isn't Anastasia's, but the Anastasia's second in command. I got a couple of details mixed up. It's fine, but it's just very funny. Like, yeah, no, I want to see who fucking wins this shit.
Yeah. It's so good.
And McGillis sees this, and he sees the other pilots hanging back. He's like, "Ha! It's because I'm so epic! Win!"
I know. I'm so glad you caught that too. He's like, "No one's attacking because of the sheer power on display." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, man.
Yeah, sure. They don't want to fucking deal with sheer force life orb emergency exit interactions."
Yeah, exactly. They're fighting. They end up, like, McGillis gets wounded in his cockpit, and he's like, "What, you drew blood?" Like, he's very surprised that he was able to be hurt. But like their Gundams are both like fucked up. I think like both of them lose an arm, and like they're just kind of like very crunched up.
Yeah, they
So
just
McGill's
careen into like one of the Aryan Rod like loading docks.
Well, it's Russell's ship.
Yeah,
because
Russell's ship, yeah. Because McGill's like
pops
almost
out.
gets the job done.
It's really funny that this is like the sort of Gundam Aboaku analog too. Of
The Gundam what?
Aboaku, the final like space fortress at the end of 0079 when like Amuro and Char are like on foot.
Yeah. I forgot about the name. I forgot that thing was called that, yeah.
Yeah, but it's Garba and Char instead. Because like McGill's has like just a straight up pistol, and he's bleeding out, but he's like wandering through, and he's like taking
he has like a
elevator up.
drill in his tummy. He's not.
Yeah,
he's not long for this world.
No, and he's like, I just gotta kill Russell. Just gotta kill Russell. It's like that meme of like, it's like, hey, you okay? Just gotta get through this week. Just gotta get through this week. It's just
it's
like
fucking Travis Touchdown fighting death metal. Gotta find the Rustle. Gotta find the Rustle.
Yeah. The darkness is closing in. Just gotta find Russell. And he opens the elevator, and then like Gaelio's there with a Vidar mask, and like I guess they both fire at each other.
Yeah,
but, like
it just dinks off Vidar's mask.
Yeah, very good foresight of, and it's both foresight on Gaelio's part,
and this is when we get the last Almeria thing where she feels it in the Force.
Yeah, it's good foresight that Gaelio wore the mask, both A, for defensive purposes, and B, McGillis has to unmask him for the final time as he dies. It's fucking cool.
Mm-hmm. This entire fucking homos, just gays, the lot of them.
I think they might be gay. It's just like Gaelio's just demanding McGillis to look at him, and like you can tell McGillis is like looking down, not making eye contact. It's just like
And he's like, McGillis is like, Gaelio, to me, you have been, and Baldwin just cuts him off. Is like, shut the fuck up, don't say it, or I might forgive you.
Yeah, like he knows Ein would want him to forgive him. He knows Carter would want him to forgive him. He's like telling McGillis, shut the fuck up. I do not want to have to do this thing, like, because I will if you say it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, McGillis asks Gaelio if there's true or fake happiness, and he asks Gaelio why he's crying, and yeah, that's when he says, to me, you've always been. And he just kind of like bleeds out and dies there.
Yeah.
It's just a really fucking good, impactful scene, like the final end of like, these two fated, I guess, rivals, you would say. Mm-hmm. Did you expect Gaelio to survive?
No, you saw my notes. I said that I thought there could have been a satisfying ending in which he did survive, but I honestly expected the show to kill him. I thought they were both going to go die. I thought they were both going to die at each other's hands.
I think it's most fitting. I think it works the best the way it does now.
I think when I said that, I was saying like I don't think the story is going to give me the kind of ending that I want. I'm probably still going to be happy with it, but I'm just going to like. I think it's a more interesting story that Gaelio lives this. Like,
yeah, absolutely. He
if
makes it out just like mostly
if he
fine.
had died, I don't think it would have been like magnitudes worse if he had died. But
yeah, but like McGillis is dead, and like Russell eulogizes McGillis as a foolish man on a quest for power. And he orders the final reinforcements to be sent to Mars. He's going to draw the final curtains. Yeah. And then the last thing of the episode is Eugene ordering everyone, carry out Orga's final orders, make it there no matter what.
Let's finish off his last command and have it out with him in heaven.
Yeah. Which leads us to...
So, yeah, episode 50. Their place. Tekkadan is buying time for everyone to make it out to Kryze. Their numbers dwindle after sending most of the pilots through the tunnel, leaving just Mikazuki and Akihiro on the battlefield. They fight against Aryan Rod to the death, persevering even after being subjected to a hail of Dainsleaf fire. But eventually they perish at the hands of Iok and Julieta, but not before Akihiro manages to crush Mr. Kujan into a fine pace. Julieta rips off Barbatos's head and declares the demon has been defeated. After that, we jump a few years later. Cordelia is now the chair of the Martian Union, and after all the Earth colonies gave up their hold on the Mars ones. Bristol now leads the more democratic Gallarhorn, who is working with the Mars Union to bring an end to the human debris. We get a bunch of snapshots of how everyone is doing after the time skip, and after Ride makes Nobliss go out like Elvis, the series ends with Cordelia returning home to Atra and their beautiful bouncing baby boy, Akatsuki August.
It's good! We like it! It's fucking... it's a good ending. It makes me smile. It makes me happy.
Yeah, it really does. Just Cordelia returning home to her... Cordelia, parentheses, lesbian, returning home to her lesbian what? Well, I said lesbian. They were in love with... Mikatsuki kind of a lesbian, honestly. I'm claiming him.
Okay. Can I tell you something that will make you quite pleased?
Yes.
At an official promotional event held in Shinjuku on April 9th, 2017, it was revealed that Atra and Cordelia married.
Wives!
Literally fucking canon confirmed.
They're
I mean,
literally just
like,
wives.
a little of it does kind of stink of like not like retroactively changing things, but like I
mean, I've got no
like,
problem with that being canonized because to me, this scanned is just like them being wives and like I did not need that confirmation to. Sorry to bring up fucking Joker Rowling here, but like,
that's what I was.
You cannot read Harry Potter and come away with the idea, oh, Dumbledore was gay. You can very, very, very easily, as I have proven, go through the show and come to the conclusion, oh, Cordelia and Atra are gay.
Yeah. And they are literally married.
Like even without that explicit confirmation, like I think I was just like assuming that they were wives.
Yeah, but it's nice to know that like the director's saying yes, they were wives. You got
they
it right.
Correct.
Wife City.
Wife City. Gershon remake. Wife City.
Wife City remake.
Wife City remake. Oh my god! Atra was Wife City remake this whole time.
Whoa! The big reveal.
Yeah.
So let's see. They make it through the tunnel. The very first thing that happens, we see Zach. Like Zach's like, well, I'm waiting for Hush. It's like, oh, you're gonna keep waiting, buddy.
You're gonna be waiting a while. Akihiro is Akihiro, like Dante's suit loses an arm, and Akihiro's like, get the fuck out of here, you can't do anything without an arm, leave this to the muscle unit, move over, Ryuseigo, which is just a really sweet scene. I like that line a lot.
I really like how the opening's playing this entire time. It does the thing they do at the end of season 1 where it just plays the opening without the visuals. It kicks ass. And like Eugene has to fall back, everyone's falling back. It's literally like they're rigging the place to blow, like Yukinoto's helping them. Literally, it's only Akihiro and Mika are left. And like, this is that one shot I told you about a couple weeks ago of like Akihiro just impossibly beefed up.
Yeah,
like, biceps large in his head.
This is the Crunchyroll thumbnail for the episode.
Yeah. And
this is what my notes say. Oh, wait, Iak lived? Lol.
LOL. Yeah, we get the final Akihiro Altland, Gundam, Gusion Rebake's Full City, Mikazuki August, Gundam, Barbatos, Lupus Rex. Let's go! And they, they say this as their like backs are to each other and then like rocket into the battlefield.
Yeah, it's dudes rock.
Dudes rock. Maribit makes it through the tunnel like as they begin fighting.
This scene.
Ride meets her and like Ride's like blubbering and crying. He thinks it's his fault Orga died, and like Maribit just holds him and tells him like, you did a good job, you got us out safely. It's just
it's a really sweet moment. I've had my complaints about this show just treating Maribit as like a fucking Swiss Army knife, a Swiss Army mom, but
she needs to be a mom in this part.
This is just a really, really good moment. Everyone's on their way out. Like the last like group of people where it's Eugene, the 4 kids that we mentioned from the last episode, Dane, Zach, I think, and everyone's. But suddenly they don't hear the sound of fighting anymore.
It's probably fine.
Yeah. There's a artillery of Dine's Leafs.
Rustle's final war crime.
Yeah. The one last rep.
One for the road.
And we get like a shot of like the battlefield fucking explodes. For a second I was worried that the Dios Mingo Memorial Tombstone was going to get exploded in the process, because we do see a shot of it, but it's just whipping in the wind as the
it's cool. Like the Dine's Leafs like kick up enough dust that like it's like really like orange tinted for the rest of this fight. And like Mika and Akihiro, they're like obliterated. They're not dead. Yeah. They're mostly dead. Mika
see, like,
thinks he's dead
from above. Barbatos looked like it was in pieces to me.
I mean, at this point, Barbatos has one arm, and that's kind of it.
Yeah. We get like this shot of like Mikazuki's wrist like limp against the touch screen, and we see his bracelet with like blood trickling down from his upper body, and we cut to like he's falling and it's dark, and he's like, I've been having these weird thoughts lately. Like, is any of this for real or not? He's doing Kingdom Hearts.
He's doing Kingdom Hearts, exactly.
Yeah, he's falling. He's doing the fucking simple and clean dive.
He is like he's
fucking he's doing his sail off the back of Midgard Summer in the lead into the end of Heavensward.
He remembers the day he met Orga, the day he was born, the day Orga gave him his life, and he snaps out of it, and he like gets the controls. Akihiro like fucking pulls a Dine's Leaf out from like inside his cockpit, and like he's covered in like so much fucking shrapnel. They charge in.
I didn't notice this before, but like Barbatos's jets now have like a wolf howl sound to them.
That's why the little episode fucking between the episode name and the episode summary, I put that fucking like metallic wolf howl I tried to edit because I couldn't get a clean rip of it from the show. But yeah, it's fucking cool. Doesn't make any sense that Barbatos just literally starts howling like a wolf, but it's sick.
It's epic.
It's cool. I think I should hear more metal wolf howls more in my life, actually.
Yeah. Barbatos is just going fucking sicko mode, and Iok closes in and is like, I will kill this Gushan remake full city. And he's like, accept the judgment, and I, Iok Kujan, pass upon you. And Akihiro's like, Iok Kujan? Oh, all right. I'm getting on my killing vice now.
Yeah, like, Akihiro's fine, because fucking, like, 4 Graces just yeet axes at Akihiro, and, like, he just continues to just fucking pulp Iok. He puts him through the fucking juicer.
Yeah,
like,
he squeezes him dry.
Oh, and Akihiro dies, killing Iok, which, you know what? Pretty good way to go.
Yep.
And then the show does a thing where it plays, like, the main theme one final time, and I'm like, I'm saluting so hard right now.
Yeah, and Mikazuki is like, I have purpose that Orga gave to me. I used to have nothing at all, but so many things are overflowing from my hands now. We get like a little montage of where everyone else is during this, and then Barbatos is just like Barbatos is done. It's in tatters. Like the cockpit is just fully exposed. He's unconscious and basically dead. And the last thing he says is the place where we truly belong, which he mutters as Barbatos falls onto Julia. And we get like the Orga Mika sitting back to back in the white blue place that's in the ED.
Yeah.
And we see his friendship bracelet getting soaked with blood, and it makes no, the last line Orga says, or Mika says, is Atra's gonna be mad at me. I wonder if Kudelia will help me apologize to her.
Yeah, it's so cute. And like Mika dies and Julieta triumphantly holds Barbatos' head up on like her sword pike. The demon has finally been slain. Fucking, oh, poor Mika.
Yeah, I'm saluting.
I mean, he look, he did his job. He went out protecting everyone else. You gotta respect it.
I'm doing respect, Butler.
Yeah. He protected Emmanuel.
He was the silent protector.
He was the silent protector. Tekkadon was Emmanuel.
Tekkadon was a fucking sentence that means nothing to some people who are not like. I mean, that's all the sentence on this podcast. The people who are not deeply exposed. to
there's like 15 listeners of this podcast understand what we're saying right now.
Right? I really like we get to the eye catch and then we come back and it's jumped a handful of years later and they talk about the McGillis Fareed incident. Fucking char moment.
Yeah, I love this, named after him.
Yeah. My notes just say there's a pink-haired somebody standing at the Tekkadon grave with a gun.
I forget. I think
that's Ride. It's Ride.
Yeah.
It just looks pink in the twilight. I mean, his hair is a little bit different color than it was when he was a baby.
Yeah, he's an adult now.
I don't dislike what Ride gets to do here at the end. It's weird that it feels weird. I don't dislike it. It just feels weird.
I think a different character could have done his job better because he's like the fucking rogue faction here. And I don't know if it would have ended up being Ride out of all the other characters, but like,
I mean, I think he's got the personal motivation. Like Noblest killed Orga. Orga like saved him and died because of Noblest. Like I don't think anyone else could have. I don't think it makes sense for me. Like I totally get this. It just like with everything else having such a happy note ending. It's like it's so weird that the second to last, the very last scene is Kudelia and Atra on the farm with Akatsuki, but the second to last scene is Ride making sure that Noblest died on the shitter.
He died shitting, yeah.
Yeah.
But we learn.
Oh, third to last scene. Sorry, there's a small there's a small Kudelia Chad Eugene scene that happens before that. But anyways,
it's like the narration. It's talking about McGillis fire incident. McGillis died. Gjallarhorn is able to win back its credibility. Rustle did away with the 7-star system, restructured it into a more democratic system. Rustle was sworn in as its leader. He scaled back the Mars branch and Earth's economic blocks, and the Martian Union was born with Kudelia as its leader with support from Tewaz. Rights are equally bestowed on everyone. Ironically, Rustle achieved some of what McGillis wanted, but no one remembers Tekkadon's involvement. It's as if you're seeing a beautiful flower on the side of the road and you keep walking by.
I swear they put all of their when they just did the time skip designs, they said, okay, we're gonna put all the pussy that we can into the girls and not fucking bother with the boys, because like Eugene, Takaki, Eugene, Takaki, and Chad all look fucking identical.
Yeah,
and then all the women, like, I mean, we already saw Ozzy with the suit. But we also get like Echo in the suit. I'm trying to think of other. I mean, obviously, Kudelia and Atra have really cool time skip designs.
Ryan looks fucking cool.
Yamagi, good on her transition.
Good on her.
We'll get
there.
Yeah, but they go to the Makanai Memorial Hall.
But before that, we do see a shot. Like you mentioned earlier, we see a shot of like the grave, and like everyone's names are scratched into it, and like the Tekadon logo is like scratched out.
Yeah,
it's fitting. I say it's fitting.
It's sweet.
We go to the we go to the Tokonosuke Makanai Memorial Hall for kids who can't read good, and we see Kudelia and Rustle signed the treaty to end the process of human debris, and they shake hands on it. It's very strange, like, the rehabilitation of Rustle in this ending.
It's so strange. Like, I can definitely see it. Like, I think the conversation after the fact where he's like, oh, we are so sympathetic to the plight of human debris. Like, this, to me, scans as very clearly, like, him just doing shallow political motivations. I don't think this is... I personally did not take this as an attempt to redeem him in some way in the audience, or, like, rehabilitate him. I think this is him being, like, a shrewd politician making decisions that are, like, in line with, like, what the public would want. Go on.
I think it's less of like an outright redemption and more just like it puts in stark contrast Rustle's actions versus like McGillis's insane libertarian shit.
Yeah.
Where Rustle just has like, I mean, again, what Rustle's doing is consolidating himself in history as like this kind, benevolent leader who, you know, won rights for many, but like is, you know, he's clearly doing it to further his own career. But the fact is that, like, what he did was, like, a lot more, like, you know, it wasn't what McGillis wanted to fucking do.
No, absolutely not. And I don't know. I really don't have much of an issue with this. I feel like this is, like, perfectly, like, for Rustle to live to the end of I think if Rustle lived to the end of the show, this is how it had to be. Like, he had to, quote-unquote, win. This is kind of like, this is not a great ending for everything. Like, Gjallarhorn being back in power with Rustle at the helm, that's not a really good ending.
Yeah, we're back at square one. Tremendous.
Yeah, he's dressing it up in, like, language of, you know, progressiveness and, you know, moving forward and, you know, freeing the human debris, but, like, it's all extremely shallow to him. And, like, the line of him where he and Kudelia, the line he says to Kudelia afterwards that I know I already mentioned, but he was like, oh, we care so deeply about the plight of the human, like, it just feels so fucking fake to me. Like...
Right. It's like... Because we learned that, like, Rustle kind of has an idea of who Kudelia is, so, like, it's almost as if he's doing it because he knows how much it means to her, too.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, it's like, I do think it's good that, like, how Rustle ended up. It is just, like, very strange, especially on a first watch of, like, wait, hold on, like, not only did Rustle live, but, like, he is, like, the true victor here. It's just, like, you know, I reckon that's how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
But we cut from...
It is an ending that is, like, ultimately makes me feel bad, but I feel like maybe you're onto something, because I feel like the show does not itself... I feel like the show does not reckon with, like, this is bad.
Yeah,
like, this feels... Like, there does not feel like a twinge of, like, oh shit, Gjallarhorn's back in power. Like, Gjallarhorn being back in power without McGillis or the Seven Stars involved, it's like, okay, now there's even fewer people at the top making the decision. Like, not that the Council of the Seven Stars was good or anything, but it was like, that was 7 people. This is one dude.
And that's the thing, too. It's like, okay, yeah, Gjallarhorn scaled back its operations, but it's like Rustle trading military power for, like, diplomatic power, because now he is this, like, he is this leader that can, like, you know, talk on equal terms with the economic blocks. So, like, he's gone from, like, ruling with an iron fist to ruling with, like, wads of cash almost, you know? Like, yeah. It's like he's still on top in almost like a more sinister way because he doesn't need to enforce it anymore.
Yeah, and I feel like I can't get a read on how the show feels about it, honestly. And I think
that's the thing. The show feels very like uncritical about it.
Yeah, which is weird. Like, I think I just went into it like thinking it would be critical. It's like, of course it is. Why wouldn't it be?
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, hey, we have next week is like discussion, so
yeah, totally.
I'm sure people ask us to be like, hey, is Rustle? Do we like Rustle? Does he have swag?
My notes say Kudelia kind of a MILF now. Reblog. Where's her big hair though? And she gave up her big hair. She gave up her big hair to give it to Atra.
Yeah,
Atra basically has Kudelia season 1 hair at the end of this all.
Atra goes through a fucking bottle of conditioner a day. That fucking volume is insane. Before that though, we see Julieta. She's hanging with Gaelio. Gaelio's in a wheelchair now. Juliet has like just longer hair. She doesn't look any different.
Yeah.
But, Galileo tells Julia to stay
She's got a
wary
bit of a
Cordelia.
mullet, kind of a dykey look. I
She
respect
does,
it.
it is a mullet, isn't? Yeah, a mullet very much works for Juliet, I think.
Yeah.
But Galileo tells her,
lesbians. The three men in her life were Galileo. The three men in her life were fucking Galileo, Russell, and Eoc. Of course, she's gay.
Galileo talks to her about, Cordelia is dangerous. Like, she's very shrewd, and he talks about Juliet. He's like, he mentions that she's kind of like the one that people are talking about to be the next head of Gallarhorn.
Mm-hmm.
And she ends up saying some weird shit. It's like, Tekadon were more human than anyone else we ever fought. They only belonged on the battlefield, fighting just to survive. And
for no reason other than to live on as humans. Which I thought I liked this scene. It's a little bit.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't have it's a little bit anything. It's good. I liked it personally.
Galileo kind of he wishes he could have understood McGillis further. And he just kind of like brushes it off. He's like, will you eat with me? Like kind of asking her out a little bit. And she's like, are you this friendly with everyone? And he's like, I used to be this friendly before I put on the mask. Or did you prefer Vidar? She's like, let's go eat some meat, and just fucking runs off, pushing him in the wheelchair.
Well, no, she runs up with him. She like pushes him off in the wheelchair, like antagonistically, because she's like, I want meat. And he's like, yeah, you can use some more meat on those bones. She's like, I'm going to fucking roll you off a cliff.
Oh,
like
that's
in
right.
Mac and Me.
Yeah.
She's going to hit him with the Mac and Me.
The Tokunosuke Mac and Me.
Fuck. Okay.
A lot of McDonald's names this week, huh?
Great work from. You're gonna have a fucking murderer's row of episode titles to choose
fuck.
from.
Oh god. If only podcasts would let me randomize episode names for those who download it.
Right. Yeah, Cordelia's just chilling at Makanai's grave, and we see we see that Eugene and Takaki are. Well, Takaki is now working with Mr. Alessi, the current Albro PM.
Yeah.
Who took over for Makanai, and also Eugene is there, who's like part of Cordelia's security detail.
Looking
identical. It looks like he just took off the
exact same.
He took off the tie and the jacket and just put on a suit, and it's like, all right, that's my time skip.
Yeah. Alessi talks about like how he hopes Takaki will become a parlor member in the future and like maybe take on his position. Takaki talks to Cordelia. He's like, I understand what you meant back then. That one scene where Cordelia and Takaki talk. I understand what you meant back then about what I can do for my own family. And it's like, it's nice. Like, I like that Takaki got this ending where like he's able to safely stay and take care of Fuka. We love it.
Yeah. I wish they'd shown me Fuka. Like,
yeah, show me adult. Like,
we get so many like single drawing cutaways. Like, we see Maribet and Yukinojo with their baby. We see like one shot of like Yamagi with the fucking design they did for Yamagi's time skip is like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, she just transitioned.
I thought it was Echo at first, and I was like, wait, no, Echo's still with Ozzy. This is Yamagi.
Yeah, like,
good for her.
Good for her. She looks great.
Well, also, so the main thing is that company.
Kasapa.
That is Yukinojo's company. Yukinojo's full name is
Yukinojo Kasapa.
Yeah, something Yukinojo Kasapa, and the logo is Shino's pink eye spot he used for the Ryusei.
I didn't catch that. That's so sweet.
Yeah, in the screenshot you posted, you could see it like on the back of on the back.
I was wondering what that logo was. I was like, this
jumper.
doesn't seem like a throwaway thing. What am I missing here?
Yeah, no, it's honoring Shino. It's so nice.
I'm saluting Shino.
We also see the Admos school. We see Dante in an apron, like shouldering a kid. And we see Derma 985 with a prosthetic arm, like patting a kid on the head. It's just such a nice, cute ending for all these characters.
Yeah. This is when we hear like a mention of Ride and the others, so we know that there's a handful of Tekadon kids scattered to the wind. And we learn that also that Nobliss has been avoiding Admos company entirely. And this is when we get Nobliss. He's like, "Oh, I'm so busy, I can't even go to the freaking bathroom." And he's like,
happy shitting.
Yeah, he goes in there. He's like dropping a fat load, and someone through the door asks him, "He's like, hey, do you remember Orga, Itsuka?" And Ride just like blah 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 blah
blah blah blah blah blah blah. Way more bullets than he needed, but like fucking done for. He's Swiss cheese.
I like this. I don't like where it is placed.
Yeah, it should have happened a little earlier. Right,
like the fact that the fact that the time skip opens with Ride at the memorial makes me think like, okay, who is this character who is so important that they are the first thing we see after the time skip, standing at the grave, and like knowing the motivations, it makes sense that he would be like this. But like, there's so much narrative significance placed upon it, which just feels weird. Like, it feels like a sequel hook for like a second show, like a spinoff that is all about Ride and what the fuck he's been up to ever since Tekadon disbanded.
Yeah, really.
It's. I mean, I like it overall. I like Nobliss getting capped, but you know. Just
weird positioning because it's like we see Nobles getting capped, we see the Kaspa company, we hear that the guys are going to put on like a congratulations party for Maribit and Yukino's second kid.
Baby
but
2.
Kudelia is too busy. Baby 2.
I like how Chad is like the one who's like, oh, speaking of Yukinojo or Maribit about to have their second baby, Yamagi and I are going to go throw a party.
Yeah. But Kudelia can't. She's too busy. She hasn't been actually home in so long. And she's like, the man I love is waiting for me.
Mm-hmm. And then she goes home and Atra is there. She's doing laundry. And she's basically got Kudelia season 1 hair. And we see baby Akatsuki Orga. He just has like Mikazuki's hair, but with Atra's like color and fluff.
That's what Gregor Mendel proved.
Yeah. Yep. And he's got all 3 of their friendship bracelets, all 3 of Mika, Kudelia's, and Atra's. And it's so cute. Cookie and Cracker just got back, apparently, and we don't get to see their time skips either, which I'm a little bit sad about. I want to see the teens a little bit grown up, but yeah, that's fine.
This is a really cute trivia for Akatsuki. So Mikazuki means crescent moon, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Akatsuki means dawn in Japanese. But also the trivia here, Akatsuki can be broken down in the kana Akatsu and Ki, which appear in the names of Tekadon's fallen members during the Megillus Fire Incident: Akihiro, Atland, Orga Itsuka, and Mikazuki August.
Yep.
So it's like parts of all 3 of their names together. It's cute. It's sweet.
Akatsuki August, you were named after 3 of the bravest men I ever met. I'm sorry. I'm gonna
vandalize the Gundam wiki and change it so that Kudelia Aina Bernstein is not Akatsuki's godmother, but also it just says Akatsuki's mother also.
Listen.
Kudelia,
listen, we don't know. Listen, Kudelia trans. It just so happened that the baby looked exactly like Mikazuki. Mikazuki actually did not have a part in that DNA.
Yeah.
just a weird happenstance.
Yeah.
Just the hair.
He styled his hair. No, it's a fucking Josuke situation. He styled his hair after Mika. Yes! He saw him through a fucking time loop.
Yeah. And the episode ends with Kudelia being like, oh, I'm in love with the world that Tekadon built for us. I love the world that Mika left for us. Yeah. And we get the ED, we cut to the ED, and then the very last shot of the second to last shot of the ED is like of the ED typically is a close up of like Biscuit's hat on a desk at Sakura Farm with like a couple of surrounding pictures, and this is edited ever so now it's Akatsuki just like looking at the pictures, looking at the Biscuit hat, which is a really
big
nice
reveal. He was there the whole time.
Yeah.
The end.
We did it.
The end. We fucking did it.
We finished a Gundam.
We finished a whole ass Gundam, 50 episodes.
Damn, good for us.
Good for fucking us. Next week, I get to open the mailbag tonight. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Just I guess a brief programming note. I'm going to be out of town from this coming Tuesday to the Sunday after, which means we either have a mailbag open for one day or we just don't have an episode come out next Sunday. So we're probably we're doing the latter. We're just gonna leave the mailbag open until like, I don't know, the Monday or Tuesday afterwards, which puts us on like the closing on like what, the 27th, 28th?
Yeah. So I'll like edit it as soon as we record it probably so we can get that up. But fucking tune in for that. We'll also do the robot rankings and we'll just do kind of like a general overview discussion of like stuff that we just like, if we find stuff here and there to talk about that we didn't really talk about like over a single episode. Mm-hmm. But yeah, please, I'm excited to hear people's questions. Yeah, we always get some fucking banger mailbag questions. It's so much fun. Yeah. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. Is it? We're not doing a Beyond Toon Road because this episode's already going long. But do you have a robot of the week? I believe it's yours. Mine. Okay. My robot of the week is, you know what? It's the humble Zaku 2. Respect to it. I want a giveaway of like a Zaku 2 origin kit. And I'm like partway through building it. I have the head and the torso. And it's a fucking, there's a reason that like it is copied by so many future Gundams because it's just like the fucking best to do it. Mm-hmm. Classic grunt suit. Classic. My funny little green guy. And now it's time for plugs. Yeah, I'm Sarah at SunhatJenny on Twitter, SunhatZhegnya. All my shows are in there, but the one that I want to plug is Forward ReZero. It's ReZero Watch Along podcast. If you heard me reference ReZero and you're like, oh, that sounds like a pretty interesting show, no, you didn't, because I didn't describe a very interesting thing that happens in it, I don't think, but I personally think it's a pretty interesting show. If you want to learn more about it, listen to my podcast. I do it with a girlfriend of the me, Neve, and former host of the show, friend of the me, Morg. All my other shit's in my bio. Fuck yeah. I'm Max. You can go to Twitter at MaxyBajillion to find my stuff. You can go to listen to Podic Readers, my Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast. We're almost done with Season 3. And you can listen to Slappers Only, a video game music showdown podcast. A lot of games talk about there. Game music is good still. I've confirmed it, listening to the Fire Emblem 3 Hopes soundtrack. And thank you to Noisepace.xyz. Matt GameCube runs that whole damn website. All of our podcasts are hosted there. And many, many more. You can listen to fucking Zero to Zero. You can listen to... What podcasts we got? There's a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't listened to a podcast in a hot minute. Digimon Ghost Gaze is on there. Commercial Radio.
Speaking of Morg.
Speaking of Morg, yeah, Morg is on that one.
Yeah.
Video game, the movie, the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And that will do it for us. We're going to tune in next week for... We're not going to talk about episodes. We'll talk about all the episodes, not an individual one.
All of them. We're just going to do a 1 through 50. Let's fucking run through this series again.
Run.
Yeah, I'm just going to... I'm going to go to Maine with Neve, and I'm just going to spend the entire time couch locked rewatching this entire show.
But as we always say, Sarah, to close...
War is bad.
Wow, cool, robot. Bye-bye.
Respect!
Respect on the name!